Hey everyone, we've had a question about doing and suggestions. So it's a question that came in saying, I heard you on a podcast recommending therapy or body work to meet the emotions that are coming up. If there's no I doer, then who is doing that? And what's the point of making suggestions if there is no doer? So this I love. It's a good question, but it confuses the doer and the doing. Because that question is saying, if there's no doer, then doing can't happen. But what we're considering is that doing is happening all the time. At the microscopic level, there are actions happening right through the tissues, the organs, into the whole body, all the time. Just this movement, the voice moving, eyes moving, lungs moving, heart beating, everything. So doing is happening all the time. Choices are being made all the time because out of infinite words available, well, not infinite, however many hundreds of thousands in the English language, these words are being chosen. Yeah. So doing is happening, choices are being made, and there is no doer. There's no chooser, in the sense that there is no separate Clare in here deciding what gets done or choosing the words. And it's such an important distinction, and it's why we get confused around the whole area of free will. And I think a good example is, I teach yoga. And so in my yoga class, I would say, take a deep breath in. And because the students are there to let me teach them yoga, they're there to learn yoga, chances are they're all going to take a deep breath in, or they're going to come down into downward dog, or do whatever I'm suggesting, because that's the setup, that's the dynamic that's going on. I'm the teacher, I make suggestions, and because it makes total sense, because they've paid, they've made their way to the hall, they've brought their mat, they're there essentially really to do what I say, they'll do what I say. It makes total sense. It wouldn't make sense for them to do all that and then to, sit there and play on their phone or something. That would make less sense. But the setup means that my suggestions are acted on. And similarly, in our courses, people are paying to come and explore what's true. And so if I make a suggestion, the chances are it will be at least considered as an option. But what is doing the considering? What is doing that intake of breath when I say taking a deep breath? What is doing that? The conscious mind claims the action. It believes it's the doer. It's doing that. But really, every single element of the entire action is the manipulation of subconscious chemicals, of biology, of physics, of chemistry. The conscious mind has no idea how any of that is happening. Even just to say one word, how is that said? And this is what's so fascinating. So there is no doer, there is no chooser, because all the doing, all the choices are being driven by this immense database of learned actions, learned equilibrium, learned dynamic processes that are completely out of the reach of the conscious mind. And so that identified conscious mind that believes it is the thing in control, that's the illusion, that's the confusion, that's the thing that doesn't actually exist. And yet that's the thing that gets all our attention. It's the it's the spider in the web. It's, you know, this me of blame and self-blame and defense and protection and projection and reflection and categories and comparisons. That me is not true. But everything else, the doing, you know, the moving around of form, the writing, the speaking, running, walking, jumping, all of that is that has an apparent form to it. That has an apparent reality. But the thing that thinks it's in control, that the thing that thinks it's doing that, total illusion. So what we have now then is doing and choosing, but no free will. Because there isn't anything to have free will. It's big stuff, but if we can get this, if we can start to see that distinction between doer and doing, there's enormous freedom in that, because the doing then starts to make transparent those subconscious beliefs and the veils, the protection, all of that starts to come up to the surface in the doing, because no one's doing it. It's being driven by the program. And so the actions, the words reveal what's been learned over and over and over again. And that ironically, in the seeing of no doing, of no doer, is the start of freedom. Yeah. So thank you. Great question. Love to everyone. Bye.